Glock mods for poor gun owners. The stock controls can be hard to manipulate, especially for people with small hands. Luckily, Glock themselves make an OEM extended control set, so you don't have to rely on aftermarket parts. The slide stop lever is like $15, and the extended mag release is also $15. So for $30, you can upgrade your controls and increase your ability to manipulate your weapon. Trigger shoe. The bladed trigger on compact and subcompact Glocks can be hard to reach in its resting position, and if you shoot over 200 rounds in one session, it can eat up your trigger finger and even cause blisters. Folks change the whole trigger, which can cost over $150, whereas on my firearms, I simply upgraded the shoot only with the Overwatch Polydat trigger for $35, and it sits closer to the grip and reducing the pre-travel by 20% according to them. Its flat face is comfortable no matter how many rounds you shoot, and is one of the only triggers approved for law enforcement use. I like it because I can get a better, more centered grip that allows for slightly easier recoil control. The Sealy Red Dot. The Sealy Wolf Zero is a budget red dot that has survived the torture I've put it through personally, and has many of the same features as the Holosun optics that are about 2 times its price. The only downside is the battery life, which isn't really that bad at all for the price. So for half the price, you get a well-built, durable optic with shake-awake tech, but you have to change the battery more often. So far in my use, the battery should be changed about every 6 months, but that's for me with a super active lifestyle and training several times a month. Results may vary. And while we're looking at the optic, we could talk about the slides. That's an AIM surplus slide, and I bought that for like $100, and I could mount a red dot on it. So when it comes to slides, and if you want to mount a red dot, you gotta see if you can find like a local machinist that does like optic cuts on slides for cheaper than you could buy a slide. So 2 places I recommend are AIM Surplus and Hooper Gunworks. The Hooper Gunworks slide is actually closer to the OEM slide in terms of shape, so there's a little bit more likelihood of trigger compatibility when it comes to that. And then also we have the grip. So this is the stock grip, and this is handle it grips. So some people complain about how slippery the Glock is, but like for me, it's not that bad. I don't really care. But I tried out the grips, the handle it grips, and these grips are pretty dope. This one's coming up. It's nothing to do with the grip. It's because I didn't apply it correctly, and that's all. I just didn't use a hair dryer on it, so it is what it is. But either way, the handle it grips cost less than $20, and including shipping, so that's a pretty good price for an upgrade or whatever. But if you decide to get handle it grips, you gotta watch out, because old heads that don't know stuff about products like RGG might call the skateboard tape, but I honestly don't give a fuck what he says or anybody else. So those are some super cheap Glock upgrades. Get at me.